Hello everyone, I am Duke James. This is Hungary 3.0. Alright, so apparently casual literacy is spawned, but it hasn't spawned in... I don't know if spawned is the right word anymore. It's shown up in the world somewhere. It's not in Europe though, which is weird to think about. In order to get that to our country, in order to invent it, I suppose, we would need Tech 14 printing press. That's admin tech. Our admin tech is 12, so we're 2 techs away from that. And any known country has to have embraced casual literacy, or one of the following. Okay, so either Tech 14 or any known country has embraced casual literacy. So that's country. I don't know. There's country and province. Province, all of the following. Commercialization has to be present. We have commercialization. Knowledge production has to be greater than or equal to 2, and province has higher learning industry. The top and the bottom one are done in pest, our capital. The knowledge production is not 2, though. Provincial invention progress base knowledge production -2 divided by 8 to the 2nd power. I think that's just how fast it goes. So the more knowledge you produce, the faster you would get that. France and Cairo should get that really quickly because they have huge, very large higher education industries that produce a lot of higher education. Provincial spread requirements, province, legalism present, commercialization present. So, theoretically, we should be able to get in pest once the higher education... Actually, does that include both higher education and... Yeah, okay, so it's knowledge production. So knowledge production is both higher education and religious education. Right now we produce about 0.9, a little bit less than 0.9 higher education and 1.1 and a half religious education. So we actually produce almost 2 education units per year. So we should be in good shape once we can get this. Tech 14. I looked at France's tech. What is their admin tech is 8. I don't know what is going on in France, but their admin tech is 8, their dip tech is 9, and their mill tech is 10. They're doing pretty bad over there. Cairo's in a better spot, though. They should be able to get it. Their higher education size is 37, so I think they should be producing a lot. Paris's higher education size is 102. Yeah, it's massive. And then you have countries like London, or provinces, cities like London, provinces. They don't even have higher education. And then a province like Oxford has 5 higher education. So England's kind of screwed in that regard. I think the only other province in Europe that has... Yeah, the only other province in Europe that has a good higher education industry that I know of, at least, is Prague with almost 45 size. The other provinces really don't have much. Actually, there might be a map mode. Let's see. Is there a map mode for... You think it'd be under economy, right? Luxury output per capita wealth. Nothing there. I think you could go through trade. Okay, yeah, here we go. Knowledge production. I'd have to change the scope. Worldwide, no wastelands. Alright, here's the knowledge production. Looks like Granada actually produces a lot. Oh yeah. Fez produces a lot. Fez is 64 unit size. 191 size of luxury cloth, 104 size armaments. I would not have expected that. That's a good province. 31 urban development in that province. I absolutely would not have expected that. Morocco actually looks to be doing pretty good. Baghdad is pretty good. Rome's pretty good too. We're over here with 10. And I think that's part of that is only because I put some money into that. I'm actually going to do that right now. I'm going to put 10 ducats into academic and pest. So I mentioned not building in the urban industries last time. It's mostly because there's not a whole lot of urban residents, so peasants, they can move and help do equilibrium. Because it's going to raise the costs a lot, so... But I don't really have a lot of residents in the country, so... If I make the wages too high too fast, it's going to take a long time to go back down. The other thing is, these two provinces here, I went ahead and I put in some industries. There's actually a lot of residents in these provinces. Wallachhia's former capital has 26,000 residents. And the province right next to it has 11,700 residents. So these two provinces were the urban centers of Wallachia, and pretty much every other province was a production center, producing food or raw materials. Well, raw materials. Looking at the industry, salt. This is not including Bosnia, because I can't select Bosnia because they're not cores. But of all the provinces we can select, we now have more salt production than demand by 0.1 unit. So I expect that salt production to increase even more, and the demand... Well, I assume that demand will increase as well, but production should outpace demand. Food, on the other hand, not great. We're negative 50 food. Yeah, so I want... since food and salt are pretty necessary for peasants' life needs, I want those to be as high as possible and as cheap as possible. I want the production numbers to be as high as possible. I want them to way outstrip demand so that we can get more peasants. They can have their life needs fulfilled. Because the basis of any country is a good peasant stock. They are the lifeblood. The lifeblood of our country. Speaking of which, let's give them grain again, and I'll give them tax relief. It's always a good idea to make sure your peasants are thriving, or at least not dying. State-sponsored commerce is gone. Go ahead and do that one again as well. Let's see, any privileges that I could give them. Yearly corruption. You know what? I'm going to actually do this one, because I assume there's a negative to this one. I talked about this a little bit ago. It gives yearly corruption negative 0.1, which seems actually pretty good. It doesn't say any negatives, but I assume ending all state interference and regulation of the guilds, providing them with complete autonomy in organization and governance, probably not negative proof. but we'll see. And then the smuggling, global trade power. I'll hold off on these two. Granting honorary noble titles. Smuggling does do something with trade. It's smuggling does something with the tariff rate, which I talked about, I think, last episode or a couple episodes ago. So I'm pretty sure smuggling reduces the tariff rate on your goods. So smuggling does have a negative effect. I'm not sure. Obviously, doing that would increase it, and getting rid of that, if you have it, would decrease it. But I don't think there's a whole lot other ways to decrease that. I'm not even sure what the smuggling rate is, like where to find it. Because it should be in trade, you'd think, but it's not here. There is subsistence rate, which is good. They added that. But anyway, there are missions here. I did this one, develop Hungary, got 10 legitimacy for that. The next one in this chain, because these two over here are just colonial ideas, which I don't think I'm going to do as Hungary. Probably not, since I'm going up for the Intermarium and not west. There's this mission, which is to have these provinces right here. There's 3 provinces owned by Hungary or non-tributary states, subjects, which is true. They're all owned by Croatia, but it's not counting them, I guess, because they are a permanent. They're in a permanent personal union, so I can't actually progress on any of these in the middle, because the game isn't counting Croatia as a non-tributary subject. So if I want to do any of these missions in the middle, I'm going to have to break off Croatia from the personal union and then annex them, which probably isn't a bad idea, and I would probably do that eventually. But yeah, that's these missions, which are basically just conquering. Yeah, like this mission is another one that needs Croatia's territory. But this chain, the next one is to have a amenities rank 2 in PEX. And that gives you subsistence minus 5%, which means that they can trade more items. So it increases your trade. Because the subsistence in this province is now 12.7%. So if I build that here, then I can trade more from that province. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Build amenities to rank 2. Cost 20,779. That's because every single province in my country is selected. So I guess to build, if I wanted to build every one of these provinces to amenities rank 2, it would cost 21,000 ducats, which actually seems kind of cheap. Alright, there we go. Construct buildings. Amenities to rank 2 would be 268 ducats. Let's go ahead and do it. That's at 6 levels of construction. That's because that has to do with this. So amenities is at 6 out of 12, so it needs to build 6 levels or units or whatever that is. Size, buildings, levels maybe. They're building a 12-story building. Yeah, so we'll get that going. I guess I'm going to build amenities rank 2 here. I should probably start building it up as a city. What do they produce here? Wheat, pasture, wine, coal, timber, cottage, textiles, and religious education. How many people are living here? Less than 2,000 residents, a lot of peasants. No burgers. Let's go ahead and, I'm just going to throw a commerce industry here. I think the commerce industry should attract burgers. Actually, I think you... Okay, yeah. No, you just need 1,500 urban residents. I thought for a second that was burgers. But that'd be crazy, because I don't think any province of mine has 1,500 burgers. Alright, actually Pest has close to 3,000. Let's do an urban industry. Houseware, textiles. I think textiles is present, I saw. Yep, textiles is present. I think armament industries, I've built a lot of those, so they're not exactly all that profitable. In Pest, it started at 5 size and it's dropped down to less than 2. It is profitable, but it's not very big. So there's not a whole lot of total profit. Processed material. Processed material uses fuel and raw goods. Yeah, I'll do processed materials industry. Let's see how that goes. I'm gonna go ahead and build a fort. I want to try to have a fort in every province that can use a fort. So I'm gonna build a fort down here that'll block movement this way. Lateral movement. None of those taxes, timber, salt, alcohol taxes are actually active. I think if I wanted to still delegate but get those to be active, I could go ahead and do, I think increasing the amount of admin I spend would do that. Go to the tax code. Set that to low. I think that's just going to automatically get rid of it. I don't think I'd ever had it. There's a plague in Naples. That's what they get. Alright, well, we're making 25 ducats of taxation without doing any of those taxes. So I'll probably just leave it. But I don't think I want to spend that much, so I'll go ahead and drop this to like 19. Because I do need my admin power. The bubonic plague in Naples. There was 18,000 people dead. Susceptible 0, change negative 35%. Infected 5%, change 4.5%. Removed 34%, change 31%. Dead 18,000, change 16,000. 60% immunity. They only lost 18,000, that's not bad. Okay, looks like it changes every month. Oh yeah, there they go. Change 1.9. They're not really infected anymore. Yep, so it looks like they've pretty much just lost 20,000. And everyone else is hardly affected. So I'm pretty sure plagues aren't really fully implemented yet. Ooh. Would you look at that? Who's in this war with me? I think, okay, the Teutonic Order was also in this. We're fighting Burgundy and Sweden and Wolgast. Okay. My assumption is the Teutonic Order gets white pieced. I think Burgundy is going to come to my provinces. I have forts somewhat over here. I think I'll move up there. Try to take something down here, and then wait for Burgundy's troops to come over here. But for now, I'm going to end this part here, and we'll fight this war in the next part. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.